Have you ever noticed that by trying to be everyone's good guy, you've actually become the doormat everyone wipes their feet on? You say yes to everything, even when you want to say no. You carry problems that aren't yours, and yet you end every day drained, alone, and feeling empty inside. What nobody ever told you, not your parents, not your friends, is that this unlimited availability doesn't make you a good person. It makes you easy prey. And today, I'm not just going to show you who's been using you like a doormat without you even realizing it. I'm going to give you something even bigger, a silent strategy rooted in Carl Jung's deep psychology that forces people to respect you, even the ones who've always manipulated you. Take a deep breath, because after this, you'll never be able to say yes so easily again. Since you were a kid, they taught you that being a good person means always saying yes, swallowing your pain, giving up your time, apologizing even when you didn't do anything wrong. But nobody warned you that every yes you say to please someone else is a no you scream at your own soul. Carl Jung said, "He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens." That's why your kindness has become a prison. While you're busy fixing everyone else's life, no one is protecting you from yourself. But today, that changes. Because in this video, I'm going to unlock a silent power that's always been inside you. Your conscious unavailability. This isn't about turning your back on the world or becoming cold-hearted. It's about learning how to stand your ground and value yourself in any situation. A power so rare, it makes people stop draining your energy, chase you for just a moment of your attention, and finally respect you the way you've always deserved. And I'm going to prove it to you in 3 steps. Each one will sting a little, but together they'll free you once and for all. So sit back, take a deep breath, and get comfortable. Because by the time we're done, you won't beg for attention anymore. You won't feel guilty for saying no. You won't feel that empty hole in your chest ever again. You'll have the key to say no without fear, walk away without guilt, and be respected even in your silence. Our journey starts now. The hidden cost of always saying yes. You pride yourself on being reliable, always present, always ready to fix everything, don't you? But take a deep breath now, because Carl Jung once said, the greatest tragedy of the human being is to live as someone others want, instead of who they truly are. And that's exactly what you do every time you say yes, when deep down you wanted to scream no. Nobody tells you this, but every quick answer, every silent favor, every forced okay, it all builds an invisible prison, brick by brick, until one day you look in the mirror and don't even recognize the person staring back. And the cruelest part, people get used to it. To them, your time has no value. Your energy is a faucet that never runs dry. Your silence, they read it as weakness. That's why you're always the shoulder to cry on, the emotional ambulance, the first one people run to when everything falls apart, but the last one they remember when life is good. Meanwhile, who's looking after you? Who says no for you? Who protects you from yourself? The answer stings, but it's simple: no one. And maybe, right now, a voice in your head is whispering, but if I stop being this way, I'll lose people. They'll call me selfish. I'll end up alone, and I'll tell you the truth. Yes, you will lose people, but the ones who walk away when you protect yourself were never real companions. They were just feeding off your energy. Carl Jung called this the persona, the mask we wear to be loved, accepted, recognized. The problem is, that mask comes with a high price. Every yes you say to fit into someone else's life is a no that pushes you out of your own. And the price? Exhaustion, anxiety, that empty feeling at night when you lie there thinking, why does no one do for me what I do for everyone else? And trust me, it's not because people are cruel, it's because you taught them to be this way. Now hold on tight, because next, I'm going to show you exactly who feeds off your exhaustion and how they programmed you to never see it. Get ready, because when this mask falls, you might not like what you see, but you'll thank yourself for finally seeing it in time. If this content resonates with you, please subscribe and like. Thank you for your support. the hidden game, who feeds on your exhaustion. Have you ever noticed who complains the loudest when you take too long to reply? Carl Jung said, "What irritates us about others reveals more about ourselves than about them." And that's where the secret hides. People who feed off your constant availability don't really want you. They want what you give away for free. Your time, your attention, your validation, your company, your comfort. And the moment you even hint at closing that faucet, the game begins. They reveal exactly who they are. They complain, they create drama, they call you cold, ungrateful, selfish, not because they love you, but because they just lost control. And do you know the worst part? It's not by accident. It's silent, almost invisible, but it's a program that started way back when you were taught that saying no made you bad, selfish, unworthy of love. Jung called this projection. Other people dump onto you what they refuse to face in themselves, and they use you as a mirror, a punching bag, an emotional crutch. Every time you react, explain, justify, defend yourself, you feed the game. You become predictable, easy to control, a walking emotional button anyone can push. And those who live off taking advantage of you spot this in a heartbeat. You know that friend who only shows up when they need to vent. You know that person who praises you only when they want something. You know that boss who knows you'll never say no, even when you're drowning. They all have one thing in common. They feed off your inability to protect yourself. And every time you cave in, a piece of you dies inside. Your value drops, and they respect you even less. Now hold on, because now that you see who they are, here comes the final blow. Next, I'm going to show you how to flip this entire game without shouting, without fighting, without begging, using the most uncomfortable weapon there is, silence. And trust me, the ones who talk the most will lose their minds when you finally go quiet. The devastating power of silence. Do you want to know why the people who manipulate you fear your silence the most? Carl Jung said that individuation, becoming who you truly are, requires isolation, but not the isolation of absence, rather the isolation of total presence. Silence is not the absence of a voice, it's an amplified presence. As long as you speak, you're still playing the game. As long as you react, the other person still controls you. But when you stop responding, something strange happens. They're left alone with their own inner noise. And those who feed off your chaos can't stand facing their own echo. That's where the devastating power of silence begins. It exposes those who pretended to love you, but really just loved what you did for them. It reveals who stays because they truly respect you, and who disappears because they can't use you anymore. It slowly rebuilds your energy, drop by drop, while the world keeps screaming outside. Have you ever noticed how people who talk too much hate silence? Silence destroys excuses, unmasks lies, makes false masks crumble. And for you, the one who always said yes, silence will hurt at first. Guilt will scream. The fear of losing people will pound in your chest. The urge to explain yourself will itch at your tongue. But behind that pain lies the real key. When you master your own silence, you become untouchable. Jung warned, "He who does not face his shadow remains its slave." Your noise is your shadow, trying to protect the mask. Your silence is the light that cuts through that illusion. And do you want to know the cruelest truth? The first people to distance themselves when you stop replying aren't strangers. They're the ones closest to you. Because they're the ones who learn to drink from your kindness like it was an endless fountain. And when you close that fountain, they panic. They call you proud, ungrateful. They try to pry your heart back open using emotional blackmail. In that moment, you must be both stone and river. Unshakable in your decision, fluid in your soul. You owe no explanations to anyone. Your only loyalty is to yourself. And if you've made it this far, you've realized one thing. When silence comes from awareness, it becomes an invisible fortress. And those who can no longer climb that fortress give up. Now take a deep breath, because the hardest part is still ahead. I'm going to show you what truly remains when all this noise finally ends. what's left after the silence, and why so few have the courage to claim this treasure. Get ready, because your rebuilding starts now. When everything around you goes quiet, the demands, the expectations, the drama that drained you, what's left is something most people spend their whole lives running from. You, with all your cracks, your scars, your fears. And this is the moment when most people run back to their old patterns, because facing your own solitude means facing everything you avoided by fixing everyone else's mess. Carl Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." And now, in this silence, there are no distractions, no excuses, only the truth. You'll see that behind the guilt of saying no lives a child who thought they'd only be loved if they were perfect. Behind the fear of being alone is the terror of feeling like you don't matter to anyone. And do you know what happens when you finally face that? You stop waiting for someone to save you. You save yourself. You realize you don't have to buy love with favors anymore. You don't have to beg for scraps of attention. You discover that the only company that never abandons you is your own. And when that presence is strong, no one can weaponize your silence against you. That is the treasure. You, whole, unbreakable, at peace. And the people who can't handle this new version of you, they'll disappear on their own, because what's left is far too precious to waste on people who only know how to take. So listen closely. You are not obligated to be available, understanding, or polite to those who only show up when they need something. Your rebuilding won't be loud. It will be silent. It will be painful, but it will set you free. And from now on, every time you feel the urge to betray yourself just to please someone else, remember this: you've paid too high a price to abandon yourself again. It's time to stay loyal to you, even if that costs you a few people. Because the people who truly belong in your life won't leave just because you finally said no. And if this new silence scares you, breathe. It's only the cradle of your freedom. Now, do one thing for yourself. Don't let this decision stay just in your head. Write it in the comments, in all caps, like a silent scream the world can hear. I choose my peace. Write it now. I'll read every single one, because anyone who writes this today is telling the universe, enough of begging for love, enough of being available to those who don't deserve it. If this video spoke to you, if a new light is starting to break through, then be an active part of this community of seekers. Hit the like button so more people can find this message. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire and validate someone else's journey. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. I'll see you in the next video.